All right, we'll call this meeting to order. This is a special meeting of the Flagler Beach City Commission. Today is Thursday, May 4th. The time is 5:01. And this meeting will be continued until all items are complete. And what we have here is meeting concerning the draft for the city manager position. And Mike, did you want to take us through this or intro it or anything, or introduce our guest?
I'll introduce Ron Williams, Department of Executive Search Firm.
You turn your mic on.
Sorry. I would just introduce our executive search firm. Ron Williams is the representative and has been the lead in preparing all the information that you have. And I would just simply turn it over to Ron for an introduction and where we're at today and what the process that we'll follow to put this on the road.
All right, and Ron, I'll let you intro this. I know we're going to have some edits and some Scribner stuff, but go ahead and, if you can, just intro this and tell us how we arrived here.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission. Ron Williams on behalf of Colin Menzinger and Associates. We continue to move forward here with the process, and thank you for having us back to talk a bit of detail about the process. We have a single objective, and we believe we share that with you, and that is to get this right. And if that means revisions, changes, adjustments, Scribners, whatever, to whatever extent we need to, that clearly is our objective. Probably objective 1A to that would also be to keep the schedule moving forward. We know that you have some time concerns and we'd like to be cognizant of those as we move forward, but primarily get it right. We want the Commission to be proud of the product that we produce. We want the residents to be well aware of what this process entails and what went into the effort. So that's where we are. We clearly recognize that you've been provided some additional points of view, which we read as well, and quite frankly, we think that there were some good points made in regards to what I read and of course our president read, but we just want to get it right, and we're here to do that tonight and see can't we fix anything we need to fix and move forward from there. That's where we are, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. And just before we get into this, I know moving forward, I don't know what the process is for y'all, but I just wanted to kind of put it on the table to have the conversation. We're going to be receiving vetted candidates from you as far as applicants and, you know, when you narrow the pool down.
Yes.
In the interest of transparency and, you know, for public record and sunshine law and all that and compliance, if there is requests for all the candidates, I just want to make sure y'all are in line with supplying that as well, even the folks that were pulled out of the candidate pool.
Oh, absolutely. We make it clear, I mean, having been around this my entire career in the state of Florida, I understand the public records law. And if you apply for this position, it is a public record, and it will be available for sure.
And I have
without exception.
Right. So once you prepare the vetted candidates, it would probably be good to just go ahead and send the folks that didn't make the cut as well.
Absolutely.
That way we have it here in case it's requested.
You will have those, and they're available to any members of the public. Once you make the decision to apply, I think most particularly if you've been a Florida manager or Florida government employee, you understand that. And there's no concern there.
Okay. And commissioners, any comments before we get into the document?
No.
Okay. All right. So let's jump in, and who wants to go first? Jane?
I'll go first.
Again, turn your mic on.
By order of process, Mr. Chair, if I may, pardon me, Commissioner, if I may, do you want to, as a board, adopt the changes here in order that they can be included, and you will have acted upon them as a board. Therefore, that sort of gives us the ability to know that the commission is agreed to these. The revisions get whipped in there, and we move from there. Would that be the way you want to go?
The goal, yeah, the goal at the end of this meeting is you will have a approved and agreed on amended document.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
So when we're done with
The whole
this,
schedule
yeah,
gets
when
crazy.
we're done with this, it's publish it.
Thank you, sir. Excellent.
All right, I'm going to start with the pictures. Our pier no longer looks like that, and next year will not look like that at all. We haven't had July 4th fireworks since before COVID, and because we have no pier, we won't be having it. So these are great pictures, but I don't think, and I don't know what other people feel, I don't think these pictures apply any longer. And that goes for all the pictures of the pier. So that would be the one on the top right-hand side of page 1.
Can I just add to that your thought? If you need updated pictures of the pier, a potential
The
spot to get them, yeah, would be through, you can also reach out to our tourism office. They have all updated pictures that you can get nice, artistic, edited pictures. And, that's something that our county has at no charge or anything.
So that would go for, I'm sorry?
Pardon me, Commissioner. If it's if it is the desire, and you will make that decision of the commission to not include a picture of the pier, that works as well.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, that works as well.
So that would be the top right-hand picture on page 1, both pictures on page 2. The picture that got squished in the middle of the organizational chart on page 6. And page 9.
Would you want to just say all references?
All pictures of
all
the pier.
pictures appear? That's
So
what I noticed.
Commissioner Mealy, it sounds like you would be requesting that we do current updated pictures of the pier to replace these.
Yeah, it could just be the A-frame,
Exactly, I was going to say, we gotta have the A-frame.
because the A-frame is the icon, really. I mean, the pier is too, but
Like this one, it's in the middle of the organizational chart. Chop that in half, use the left half, it'd be perfect.
Okay, so Commissioner Mealy is proposing that we get some updated pier pictures in there specifically to include the A-frame. Am I stating that right?
or other pictures that we could use Veterans Park with the memorials in there, or
How about a picture driving down A1A?
well, yeah,
That's why majority of the people live in this city.
yeah.
Okay, so do we have a consensus on that?
Mr. Chair,
Janelle?
would we allow Mr. Williams to sit at the other table so we can
Absolutely.
notes and-
Sure.
That'd probably be a lot easier.
Listen, I'm going to rely on your notes.
Well, we will definitely.
He's got a jacket on, so he won't get cold.
Maybe somebody knows that.
Thank you. It's so kind of you.
He's got a suit jacket on.
He'll be all right.
All right, so we have a consensus on
On the
updating
pictures.
these pictures to give a more accurate representation. We have consensus on that?
Another thought, if you're going to reference the museum, a picture of the front of the museum would be
Yeah,
nice with the
museum
turtle.
would be
and, That's a good,
So A-frame, A1A, Veterans Park, Museum,
Yeah,
just kind of an updated selection. Okay.
a First Friday picture of some sort would be nice.
yeah, even a picture of the banner, not banner, it's a sign that goes up every month. Sure, there must be a picture of that somewhere.
Okay. And Commissioner Sherman, are you in line with that?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I am.
All right, so we got that done.
Okay.
Just a point of clarification, if I might, Mr. Chairman. Do you want the you want us to coordinate with the city to determine which pictures, or do you just want us to try to select different pictures, like you mentioned, a couple of different pictures, and which obviously we can find, and of course with the help of the manager's office, we've been able to locate those, but you just want us to just sort of pick a different selection of pictures, or?
So commissioners, did one of y'all want to take that, or did we want him to coordinate with like Janelle or tourism, or is there a preference?
I'll work with Janelle and we'll find pictures.
Okay, so point of contact would be Janelle, and Commissioner Mealy can also.
Or is it Kay, whichever, whoever Mike decides.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
We figured
Coming over
get
the
some spare
bridge
time,
picture
Janelle.
would be cool too. Of the seeing, you know.
About 10 o'clock tonight, Janelle?
Okay. All right,
Okay.
so pictures are done. What else?
We had a very long day yesterday, so we may be very silly.
I hear that it was very. I hear that it was very fruitful, though.
It was a great meeting. All right, so back to page 1. Do we even want to talk about the pier at this point? In the middle of the first paragraph, it says the beachfront area includes the historic Flagler Beach fishing pier and a 12-block boardwalk.
I would say yes,
Keep
because
it.
that's the character of the city,
Okay.
even though it's busted.
A busted
Yeah.
fishing pier.
Should we,
I would say that still is who we are, though.
Okay.
should we put it like maybe like a little asterisk or something, like rebuild or anything in there?
Yeah, that, I would be happier with it, soon to be rebuilt.
Yeah, like with a projected rebuild date of, I know what's out there to the public's about 2025.
I think it makes reference to replacing the pier somewhere in here.
Somewhere, but
So I don't think it needs to be right there. I mean, that's who we are. Everybody talks about Flagler Beach.
yeah, I know.
Has a picture of the
I
A-frame
just
and
didn't
the
want this to be misleading, you know, somebody come to town and say, so where is this pier you kept talking about?
Well, it's there.
And I think if it's someone that, you know, though, too, and I kind of to maybe retract what I said, too, though, if someone's really interested in this position, they're going to know what our issue, you know, what some of those things are, too. So.
Good point.
Exactly.
And if I may add, and I'll be quiet, Mr. Chair.
No, we need it.
If I may add, I think that's a great point, because you're identifying who your audience is. Our audience is to attract the best set of applicants that we possibly can, and I think that zeroes to that point.
Okay. So my next question is at the bottom of the second paragraph. It's wonderful that Budget Travel named us the coolest town, but that was 10 years ago. Do we still want to brag on that? Or-
I would say we could probably pull that, commissioners.
I'm okay with that.
Commissioner Bellinger.
Well, not like it didn't happen, but it was 10 years ago, so.
Doesn't seem like it was
I think
10
it's
years
a little-
ago,
You know,
it's a little
but it
dated.
was.
Usually when somebody talks about Flagler Beach, they're using words like charming, funky,
Yes.
and that sort of thing. So, coolest small town gives you a certain vibe. It is a cool town.
I'm not
so-
saying it isn't. It's just, it's 10 years. Do we?
Take the year out. It was named as one of the coolest small towns in America by Budget Travel magazine.
All right. I'm all right with that. Just so it doesn't seem like nothing's happened in the last 10
Yeah,
years.
okay. It did kind of give me pause when I saw the 2013, but I kind of wrote it off because it was a pretty big event.
Oh, yeah, it
You know,
was.
so
Okay, so do we have
Just cross
consensus on
out
that?
it is a cool small town, so yeah, I think we're going to leave it in there.
Well, I wasn't
the date out.
denying that it's a cool small
Okay.
town. I just,
Okay.
okay. So just take out the
year.
in 2013.
Yep.
In 2013 comes out.
Yeah, okay. Then, I know it's nice for people to know what surrounds us, but we've got a lot of stuff here that is not in Flagler Beach. And I don't know, do we really want to talk about on page 2? the campgrounds, which aren't in Flagler Beach, and Marineland and the Ag Museum and all that stuff. Do we want to talk about those?
A couple of them.
Or should we just say there are camping and
Nearby camping.
nearby, just, because it says Flagler beaches are, and that's from the tourism board, I'm sure, because it's called Palm Coast and the Flagler beaches. And I know if somebody's intending to move here, having things around us is good, but I would rather concentrate on our city. So could we just say there are campgrounds and opportunities for adventure in the area? Something like that.
I like that.
Just shorten the camping.
Well,
Stuff.
take out the whole third paragraph and kind of combine it with half of the next paragraph.
Like a little bit simpler of a summary is what kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah, not mentioning specifically, because the campground is not in Flagler Beach and neither is Marineland or the Whitney Lab.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. Just kind of keep it maybe a little bit more generalization versus maybe just down into the weeds of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I like your approach with that.
Commissioner Bellinger, are you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do we plug in boating? Would it be there? So I don't remember reading any reference
There
to
was some
boating.
general statement about boating.
Okay.
I don't remember now exactly where that was, but there was. So that would take the third paragraph out, and in the fourth paragraph up to the word agricultural museum. And if you want, I'll when somebody else is talking, I'll try and come up with some good wording rather than take the time now.
Well, I would leave it to
Or
other
leave
folks
it to Ron.
Yeah, I don't want to actually
Ron, which
draft
would you
this.
prefer?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I suggested that we take out all of paragraph 3 and combine it in some way with the first half of paragraph 4 up to the words agricultural museum. Basically saying there are camping and natural
I would not want to miss the fact that there are amenities available.
Yes, so just, if we could
you know,
just say, in the area, there are camping and these other.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to lose that, because particularly, as others share in Flagler Beach, so to speak, from surrounding parts of the county and probably other areas, I think that a Flagler Beach residents certainly would want to benefit from the amenities that are close by and available.
And I don't argue that. I just think that we should stick with what's in Flagler Beach and just say, in the area are camping opportunities.
Well,
And maybe I'm not being clear.
Well,
you mean at the city limit line, that you want to just be that restrictive?
Yeah, not so much later on where you talk about the schools, because I know we might get somebody who has children and they would be interested in the schools, even though there are no schools.
I don't think we
the
should take
issue-
camping and hiking trails out of it.
Well, I think the issue is the way it's worded gives the reader the impression that is in Flagler Beach. So if you can just wordsmith it to say in the local area there is these amenities, is that kind of?
In the area, as long as it says something about in the area. Because I wouldn't want to be misleading by saying there are campgrounds in Flagler Beach, because there aren't. although some people think there are.
Well, yeah, we wrap around it. We're
Well,
spending
if-
a lot of time on a
Okay,
very
well,
small detail.
To me, it wasn't, but okay.
Are you kind of getting what she's saying about not giving the impression it's here in the city?
I think I am, but I do want to, you know, I mean, it's obviously your decision, but I think the fact that you have amenities available in the area nearby, close by, clearly all residents take advantage of them. I would not want to eliminate that.
No, and I don't want to either. I just don't want to give the impression that they're here in the city.
In the boundary.
Yeah.
Correct. It's in the area, but it's not in Flagler Beach.
understand.
And it's stated as if it
I
is.
think really all you need to alter is that first sentence. You know, nearby Flagler Beach, camping opportunities nearby, and then the rest of it isn't really specific to. You know, camping's available nearby in Florida State Route A1A, then it's all relevant.
All right, I'm not going to stick with it. It was my opinion. The museum's motto is no longer from the Stone Age to the Space Age. Got away from that about 2 years ago.
Say that again?
What is the motto?
I have no idea. I can't find it.
So we should probably delete that whole section about the museum motto.
No, just that sentence. The museum's, I think you can just say the museum celebrates the city's rich history. And then I like this, that we could add that the space shuttle, the flag taken up by the space shuttle and it's Mark Kelly who took it up, instead of just a local astronaut, who is now a U.S. Senator from Arizona.
You want us to, as you go through this, if we have something
You want
along
to
the
do
way,
page by page instead?
huh?
Do you want to do page by page?
It sounds like we're going to need to do page by page.
Okay.
I didn't think we were going to.
Yeah, I'm okay with
sorry, I
I'm
told
okay
you
with
I
what
had-
you went by so far,
Well, let's
but I had more stuff in
let's
that.
kind of rewind a little bit.
Okay,
Is
back to
everybody
page
okay with page 1?
I am where we're at
With
now.
those changes that Jane proposed?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good there. And that gets us on to page 2, which we are almost wrapped up on. And so did you get all your changes on
On page 2.
What did you have?
Just sounds odd. If you want to stay along the beach, the Flagler Beach Historical Museum is located a block away from the fishing pier. So you don't stay at the fishing pier. I don't know, it just seems to be an oddly worded sentence. The Flagler Beach Historical Museum is located a block away from the fishing pier, but I just don't understand the precursor to it.
Okay, we could take that.
Take everything out before the
So cross out if you want to stay along the beach.
comma.
Okay. I'm good with that. So the sentence
You want-
starts with the Flagler
You
Beach.
find the center of that last paragraph. If you want to stay along the beach,
Where do you,
makes sense?
where do you go from there now? If you want to stay along the beach?
Just cross that out.
We'll take
The
that.
sentence would begin with the Flagler Beach Historical
I got it.
Museum.
Okay, I'm done with page 2. Thank you.
Okay.
Sherman?
I think I'm all good.
Okay, page 3.
Okay, page 3. The city hosts several events throughout the year. Community favorites include monthly First Friday events in the downtown Veterans Park. Again, parade. Well, July 4th parade. I'm sorry, I was thinking about fireworks. Never mind. Ignore this. Never mind. For those who like to shop, the 6-block area in downtown, we have businesses all up and down A1. in some of the side streets. And I don't think they should be ignored. So if we could put in, for those who like to shop, the 6 block area in downtown Flagler Beach along Central and other businesses on A1A and some of the side streets. I don't know how you want to word it, but it's leaving out a big chunk of our local businesses, the way it's worded.
So a potential suggestion for those who like to shop, the city has you could say, expansive CRA district or central business district or something like that.
Plus, now you're still leaving out Polk Plaza and all the restaurants on the south side. Java Joint, if they ever get a cook again.
Yeah, but it's kind of neat to have
Yeah, I don't wanna itemize
the
all
walking,
No, I don't want to name them. I just think we
the
should.
ability to walk and shop is kind of cool.
It is, except you're leaving out all the other businesses, and we always get criticized for that. We're not the CRA right now.
I know that.
I think we got to remember the context of this. This is just to give somebody a 30,000-foot look at the city and what it's about.
Yeah, and it's about businesses beyond the 6 blocks. No, James, you look.
No, I agree with your point, but again, I go back to the fact if somebody's doing their homework in Flagler Beach, they're going to read our mission statement, and I think our mission statement maybe covers a little bit of that too, about how important businesses are, how some of the businesses and things play a part. But I do understand how you want to kind of encompass everything.
If I were Johnny Lujaraj and I saw
absolutely,
this, I'd be pissed.
No, I
This isn't
understand.
an advertisement.
It is.
This is absolutely not an advertisement. This
It's
is
an advertisement for a person to get a job here.
not for a business.
All right, if no one agrees, then I'll back off.
I'm worried that we're majoring in minors here. Is there a suggested phrase to change that? What would you?
You can just say there are many small shops along A1A as well as many of the side streets, or A1A and Central Avenue, as well as some of the side streets, something like that.
You all good with that? That's actually pretty good.
For those that like to shop, there are many opportunities in Flagler Beach. And from one end of town to the other.
That's good. That's
they're all
good.
over the place.
That's good. That's good.
And if you don't find it here, it's not far away.
But that's getting us outside the city again.
Well, I mean,
So the next paragraph, I had the same comments that I had before, the next 2 paragraphs. The Flagler Auditorium, the Flagler Playhouse, City Repertory Theater, all these arts things. I think if we just said, again, outside the city, or nearby, there are cultural...
theatrical, musical, and fine art opportunities are plentiful nearby.
Yeah.
One word.
Well, it says toward the end, just minutes away. I mean, you could change that if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's good.
You all right with that? Just add that one word?
Mm-hmm. And again, the sports things in the next paragraph. Okay, I'm done with page 3.
Any other calls on page 3?
Yeah, get to talking about airports, and you missed one that's only 5 minutes away from here.
Okay, so suggested wording.
I don't know. I'm not writing it, but
Well, we
I
are.
I just
We're
thought
there.
if you're mentioning airports,
Well, you can't travel from there unless you
of
have
course you
your own
can.
plane.
Well, I mean, some people do. Somebody uses that airport.
Yeah, the people with their own planes.
All right, Jane, I mean,
So-
exist, that's all I'm saying.
What would the suggested verbiage be? Because we are writing the document at this point.
I don't know. Flagler has its own, also has its own local, small local
Executive airport.
executive airport 5 minutes west of the city.
Maybe just say,
Literally 5 minutes.
in addition to, maybe just.
Oh, yeah,
add-
okay.
there's
That's a
some-
good one.
Yeah, in
Good.
addition to the near, just
In addition to these options, there is a Flagler County Municipal Airport. Is that what it's called? No, it's
No,
not
just an
anymore.
executive airport.
Executive Airport.
All right, what other calls we got? On page 3.
Where, at what point can we plug in that there's a hospital 4 minutes away?
Oh, I thought there was something
Relatively
about
large
the hospital.
hospital. That might be, I think that's pertinent.
It is.
Somewhere in this
All right, there's
neighborhood.
housing, schools. Other schools.
Somewhere near the schools? Where, is that
Yeah,
on this
that's
page?
where I would put it.
Is that on this page?
The schools are on page 3,
Okay.
top of the right-hand column. Okay, so what would you want it to say? How would you word something about hospitals and medical care?
I think in that section, it could be worked in because you're talking about, service to the community there, schools, colleges, airports, all of those. I think it is a major hospital.
There's one, yeah, it's an Advent Health Hospital, and they're just opening a new branch in Palm Coast. And there's a new MedNexus thing, what is that? That's like a training hospital. So there are medical facilities in the area.
Hospitals kind of
Except if
covered.
you're having a baby, you can't have a baby in Flagler County.
All right, no.
Medical facilities.
Do we want to, during the part where we're talking about our history, do we want to say anything about Lindbergh?
It did, I thought.
Did it? I missed it.
Well, let's stick to page 3.
All right, I
Okay.
just don't know
I'm back
where
to
everything
page
is, but
Well, I'm sure there's going to
What are we
be some
talking about?
small details and facts that are not going to be part of this. I mean, unless you want to make this 13 pages. Is everybody good with page 3?
Mm-hmm.
All right, page 4.
Do we want to call the Intracoastal a canal? The last paragraph on the left-hand side of page 4 says that Moody built the boat barge to cross the canal. Could we call it now the Intracoastal Waterway? Florida Intracoastal, is that the official title, Florida Intracoastal here? And it's
Yeah, I
Okay.
caught
here
that,
and
too.
Yeah,
here.
okay.
Yeah,
So
that-
change the canal to intercoastal.
Mm-hmm.
You all good with that?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Again, at the top of the right-hand column. Okay. And that's all I have on page 4.
Call-outs for page 4?
No.
All right.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute.
You do?
Wasn't the Ocean City that they, there's an Ocean City in New Jersey or Ocean City in Maryland?
Well, that was Ocean City and Maryland, actually. That was their point. There were too many ocean cities. That's what the post office said.
Yeah, but this says that the Ocean City was in New Jersey, where it was
There
in
is one
Maryland.
Ocean City, there is an ocean
There is
city.
one in New Jersey.
But being from
I don't
Maryland, he would
I
want
don't
it.
think it was there then.
Yeah,
Was it? Okay.
yeah, Ocean City, New
Okay,
Jersey.
fine. I had
And
the history wrong.
and Maryland.
Mistake of me. Okay. That's all. Next page, right?
I thought there was something about Lindbergh.
Well, I mean,
Maybe we'll look.
unless it has something to do with getting a city manager, I'm not too pressed on it. Call-outs for page 5.
Okay, page 5. One's a grammatical thing, and
Oh, okay. There's where you could have plugged in there the hospital, the principal employers. Well, it's in
yeah.
Flagler Beach, but that's okay. So that's not in Flagler Beach.
no.
Okay.
In the,
Principal employers outside the city limits include Flagler County School Board.
no, the principal employers in Flagler Beach are the city Publix and restaurants. Principal employers outside. Publix.
So the principal employer now for Flagler County is it still even called Advent Health? Or is it called something else?
It's Advent Health.
That's what it is now.
So
Advent
that-
Hospital.
So that would need included in that paragraph? Is
Advent.
That's probably the
That is-
largest employer.
Yeah.
The other school board, the schools.
Gotcha.
All right, in the first paragraph about government, one commissioner has served for 17 years, one has served for 6 years, total one for 5 years, and another for 1 year. One is in his first year, not there. It's one person.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And on the right-hand column, Flagler Beach is a full-service city. If we're saying we're a full-service city, but we don't have a cemetery or senior services, seemed a little weird to me, but that we also don't provide electricity.
Well, generally, full service includes police, fire, and utility
Yeah,
services. You know,
so I
water,
would,
water and sewer, potable water.
yeah, that's what I think of as a
When
full-service
Edgar
city.
describes Flagler Beach, that's in his,
Except that
intro.
we don't have a cemetery.
well, he doesn't add that. He doesn't put the disclaimer in there, but he does always claim us to be.
Yeah, we are a
full-service
full-service city, except for electric. So I have two suggestions. We either add, except for electric, or we take out the municipal cemetery and senior services.
I would probably take out the cemetery and senior services
And replace it with
with nothing.
electricity.
I would just say we're a
No,
full-service city.
period. Okay.
Just say we're a full-service city. Okay, I'm done with page 5.
Okay, call-outs for page 5.
Where are yours? You don't have any?
Well, you'll cover most of them. Mine were very minimal. But we're not talking about mine. I'm asking you if you have any. I got stuff to do. I mean, I'm not here for small talk.
Eric, we're here for this.
I understand, but I'm not here for small talk.
I'm not making small talk.
And I wasn't addressing you.
Okay. Page 6 then.
Page 6.
Page 6, we already talked about the picture. Communication with the community has not been as extensive or efficient. For example, the city's website can be difficult to navigate. Ensuring that information is accessible, if the city will find better, will help the city. Have we written the app off altogether?
Yes, we agreed to write the app off in the last meeting.
Totally off the table?
That's what I
That was
thought.
what we had in the last
Okay.
meeting.
So we're going to rely totally on the website? Yeah. Okay, all right, then never mind. I'm done with 6.
Call outs on 6.
No.
All right. Page 7.
Okay, page 7. The second paragraph, I would say about 2/3 of the way down. The candidate must understand the uniqueness of a small town, be committed to maintaining that uniqueness, and somewhere I want that they have preferably beach community experience, if everybody's in agreement with that.
How did you word that?
I'm not interested in that.
I have a comment on that.
What you got?
Well, I think that narrows the search a bit.
Yeah,
I think
it
that,
does.
yeah, but I think we want to at least have the best opportunity that we can for a broader selection, and then as we begin to narrow our priority in terms of making a final decision, if that isn't a factor that rises one above the other, then maybe it's something you should consider. I wouldn't close the door and eliminate anyone that has not worked in the beach community.
I like that sentence. I gather you got that from our one-on-ones, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, I had said that in my one-on-ones, but I guess I got ignored.
Which sentence are you
The
referring?
candidate must
one that's
understand the
printed?
uniqueness of a small town and be committed to maintaining that uniqueness.
All right, but how did you all feel about what Jane was proposing?
Wasn't overwhelmed. I don't know.
If I'm the only one.
I'm not sure exactly how she was wording it.
I kind of like the idea of here what was presented to us is kind of, let's start with a large group and then we'll funnel through as we, start going through our candidates, and we find that one that could have the potential, that has extensive coastal community background, but I think let's keep it wide, open-minded, I think, at a certain point too.
Okay.
I have a tendency to agree with him. I think it narrows it down too much.
I just feel that because of all that we have going on with beach restoration.
Larry didn't come from a coastal town necessarily.
Okay, I give up. I'm only one. So I'm done with page
No more 7.
7.
Any other calls on 7? Okay, page 8.
This is more of a grammatical thing in the first paragraph on page 8. Additionally, the individual must be able to help the commission identify new revenue sources and enhance underperforming revenue sources. I don't think you need revenue sources twice. And identify new and enhance underperforming revenue sources.
Okay. So just take the word revenue out, the first revenue?
Take the revenue sources. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last paragraph on the left, the next manager should be experienced in intergovernmental relations, such as developing working relationships with federal, you have agencies and then agencies again, so about how with federal and state agencies.
That's fine.
Okay with that?
That's fine.
And I'm done with page 8.
Other comments on page 8? None? All right.
No,
Page 9.
we gotta plug in a dollar amount at some point, right?
Yeah,
We
that's,
doing
I
that
guess, the
today
next
too?
discussion.
We doing that now or later?
Can we get through the brochure first?
Okay,
Is that okay? Eric?
Chair?
That's what we're doing. We're on page 9.
Yeah, I know, no, Rick was talking about,
Because we didn't plug in the dollar amount. We can do that afterwards. You want to do that after we get done? Salary range?
It's up to you. You want to cover it now?
Well, then we'll finish going through it and then come back to that.
okay.
What do you
Okay.
think?
All right, I don't know how
Your chair.
anybody's going to feel about this one, but other important information, we say we don't discriminate against a whole bunch of stuff. How about sexual orientation? Or is that getting too,
It's in there.
no, it's not?
Oh, no, they just have sex in there.
Is that something that gets used nowadays?
Well, as you know, it's, it certainly is talked about an awful lot. We don't know where, and a lot of stuff is moving through the state legislature.
Well, that's protected, so it should be in there.
Okay.
You all good with that?
I mean, it's the last thing in the whole thing, so it's
You want to add
Kinda like
sexual
a-
orientation?
disclaimer at the end.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't think it's too abrasive.
Okay,
I don't-
okay,
I'm fine with that.
okay, and that's it.
Any other calls on page 9?
No.
All right, so we got to go back to page 8 and get our salary range in there. And city manager, do you have any thoughts on that before we get into that?
With respect to the salary range, I think it would probably be best I not comment on that at this point. I think that's something you need to debate based upon the comparabilities and ranges of the competition that you have in the market, and I would leave that to your consultant,
Sure.
Mr. Williams, to do that.
I believe, Mr. Chairman, that we have made a recommendation.
You did?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I said you did.
Yes. For your consideration, we believe that it's that it's reasonable. It gives you a lot of latitude there. At the same time, it does not tie your hands to a upper limit or lower, but obviously you want to take that into consideration as you get down to finalizing your negotiations with your future manager. But our recommendation, I believe, it is on page 3 of 3 in the memo dated May 1.
Can I comment?
Absolutely.
We keep talking about how unique we are, and we are. We are really not comparable to any of these towns. I know we're coastal community, coastal beach, small-ish towns. But if you drive through Daytona Beach shores, it doesn't look anything like Flagler Beach. Neptune Beach used to, but doesn't any longer. These are all towns with a lot of high-rises and a lot of short-term rentals, people who don't really live there all the time. I guess the closest would be St. Augustine Beach, but Max has been there forever, so we can't really compare. Max has been the city manager for, what, 32 years or something? Yeah.
And you see his salary reflects the...
Yeah, he hasn't gotten the raises. So I find it hard to compare Flagler Beach to any of these towns other than we are on the ocean. They certainly are not, even St. Augustine Beach is not really an old Florida town anymore. You know, they built these fancy hotels along A1A and the old A1A. I'd go with 125 to 155 plus the benefits and being willing to pay moving expenses, which I think is probably pretty much standard anyway, isn't it?
It often is.
Yeah. So that's where I am.
Thoughts?
I think 175 is a little high. I'm okay with that.
With what I said?
125, 155. I think somehow we ought to, at some point, not necessarily in this document, but at some point we ought to lock that in with performance reviews for any subsequent pay raises.
I agree with that.
I don't know if we want to do that, you know, going in.
That would be in the employment contract.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
Mr. Sherman?
Yeah, I have to agree. I like the price point of what Commissioner Mealy and Commissioner Bellhammer had mentioned, and I think moving expenses would be fair to assist with them getting from wherever they're coming from.
Unless we don't hire somebody from Alaska.
Right. No, I think that's a comparable salary. I think, when I was reviewing this as well, I was trying to figure out, what community is unique like ours, but I think that 125 to 150, which you said 155 about? Yeah, I think that's a fair range. I think that, I know there was a mention here about the, median price of a home here in Flagler Beach. I mean, I kind of looked at both ends of the bell curve there. I think you can still find something under that price point and find a very nice place at that point. I mean, so you don't have to live outside.
Plus, they're going to be selling something from wherever they came from.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm good with that dollar amount that we came up with.
All right, we have a consensus.
I would make one comment on that if I could. We did do a salary survey through Evergreen. That's part of our compensation study. And our compensation study actually mirrors the bottom end of the range, but is higher on the top end of the range. So one of the recommendation by the consulting firm is that it's slightly lower than what we have for our comparabilities on the upper end of the range. It's closer to actually 200 on the upper end of the range. So their upper end of the range is a little bit lower than what we were showing on our comparability study.
But we also don't know what form of government some cities have. Like, I don't even know who the city manager for Orlando is, but I do know who the mayor is. And, because they have a strong mayor, Buddy Dyer runs Orlando. So I don't know even if that's fair, if we don't know if the city manager is...
I believe these comparisons are based on council manager forms of government.
They are. Well, these might be, but, some of the ones where you said they've been making over 200.
Did you have some, Commissioner?
I do. In your experience, just because that might say 175, do people settle? I mean, does that get more people interested, at least to finish reading the rest of it?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though they may not get close to that, they
I believe
get closer to the bottom.
And we added a caveat comment or whatever. It basically says, there's no requirement that you go anywhere or start anywhere near the top of the range. But you do want an applicant to believe that, there's potential.
There's room for advancement.
Yeah.
Well, that there always is. But do we want to raise... You're adding another third again to what we're already paying. We're paying, what,
No, I'm not adding that, not from the get-go. That's
if we go
not
through,
at all.
We're adding almost $50,000.
My only thought is that and, clearly this is your decision, you do want to hopefully hire and enter into contract with a manager for a long term.
Yeah.
You want to think long term. And as you say, the manager just mentioned been there for many years, and you would hope that the manager that you hire would want to be here, and you would be satisfied enough to have that person here with you for an extended period of time. So I would just caution you to think longer term, and
This is
make
the
sure
present, and not to interrupt you, but this is how much we were willing to pay now,
the range.
within that
The
range now,
Yes, correct.
not next year or 5 years from now.
I understand that.
So, of course, there's always the potential for raises based on evaluations.
But
Well, I think what he's saying, though, is it looks, when you have a salary range, the top end of the range does not say starting pay. That's saying, here's the salary range of our city manager. It makes it look like it's capped at 155. So they will not have any earning potential past that.
Then is there another way of wording it? Because to me, that's the range within which we're willing to hire right now.
That's your decision.
So,
And I just want you to have the best opportunity to get a long-term manager. That's my only thought, Commissioner.
That's why I asked you that question.
so is there a way of wording it so it doesn't appear like there's no potential for growth, that this is the amount we're willing to pay right now? I don't know what the economy is going to be like next year. I'm very nervous about what the economy is going to be like next year if we don't raise the debt ceiling within 3 weeks.
Well,
I don't think anybody
go ahead, I'm sorry.
really believes that when there's a salary range and they're a new employee, that they're going to start at the top.
They don't.
I mean, it's silly for somebody to expect that. So I'm thinking we're probably not going to be able to come up with money for an assistant city manager. But
Well, I was going to say
may-
that too.
may
We
wanna
agreed to 4
reward-
new hires yesterday. We agreed to 4 new hires
We
yesterday.
did?
Yeah.
I didn't
I missed
hear that, yeah.
Well, we didn't have a final vote, but there was the engineer, the assistant city manager,
I thought we just discussed those, and those are some concerns that I
Let's stick
stick
to
to
this.
this, yeah.
Guys,
Eric,
this,
Eric, we
please.
all have other things to do.
I understand,
And if
but-
you're not willing to spend the
No,
time.
I'm not going to
that
listen to
was
that.
relevant,
We're going to
Eric.
talk
Really
about this,
Yes.
and we're not going to talk about things unrelated.
It is related. We have a budget.
Talking about what we agreed on yesterday that doesn't have anything to do with this.
Yes, it does.
off
It's a
topic.
budget that we have to be considering. So it
Not
does
for a
have-
salary range.
All right, I'm done.
Thank you. So for a salary range in government, how it works is when you hit the top of the range, you don't get raises anymore. This is government 101. It's pretty sad I have to explain this. So if you advertise it, that city manager is going to read it and say, I'm not going to make more than this. Correct? Correct? Okay. So if you want to have the proper candidate, you're going to need to either have a higher range or have the understanding they're not going to make more than that. And you could, by going in low, you could turn candidates off.
That's
So
I'm reconsidering that 155 after city manager's explanation and our search firm. I think
Liz
I'll
has.
propose we leave where it is. Liz wants to say something. Be careful.
A suggestion.
Make sure it's relevant.
No, could you put in a
hold on a
salary?
second.
Okay.
Sorry.
This isn't social hour,
All right.
okay? And all these backhanded comments, I'm not going to listen to.
All right.
No, just a suggestion. If you put in a salary range, can you put in something like in the next sentence saying, and the expected starting range, or the suggested starting range, and then do the starting range underneath that? I don't, just putting in the total range, and then,
The starting range will probably be something you would want to negotiate with the applicant.
right, but just if we're kind of putting the total range in, and, I don't know, just something like a sentence after that with with the starting range, in, within this amount. I don't know, that was just suggestion.
If I was to have a suggestion, I would just say we would change it to 165, just to make it a little bit more appealing. It's kind of splitting it down the middle. You're not cutting people off, but it's up to you all.
Okay.
Well, I'd be okay with 165.
Sounds like a reasonable compromise.
Commissioner Ryan?
Whatever. You don't care what I think, so.
Well, you had a chance to voice your opinion.
I did.
Okay, so we have a consensus on 165.
What's the start date, the lower range?
125 to 160.
Thank you.
All right. Does that cover everything?
As far as I know.
All right.
We covered what you need to know?
I believe so. Obviously, we'll get with the, I see the note takers shaking their head that they've got it. They've got it covered. I guess, Mr. Chair, what I would ask is that if it, and you may have already done it and I didn't follow it properly, to say that the commission has approved the release of the document pending the changes as voiced by the commission this afternoon.
All right,
Yeah, we should do it.
I'll make a motion that we approve this as amended.
I'll second the motion.
All right, before we do that,
So
let's
you
open-
got, everybody has notes as what amended means, right? So we're good from there. Jane's going to work with Janelle or something on the photos. So
Wendy and
I'll make that motion.
yesterday.
You second.
Yesterday. We really would like to get them as quickly as possible.
Okay.
In order we can get the
Yeah,
document.
well, that was, you did say that was your intent, going out. You wanted, so you got a motion.
Is it
and a second.
Janelle locating? Which,
It'll probably be Katie.
that's what I'm asking.
So you,
Okay.
maybe late tomorrow, get it over to us, and there's no reason we won't turn it around over the weekend. and
Yeah,
get it
late
out.
tomorrow works.
If you'd be able to get it to us late tomorrow, we can turn it around and get it out over the weekend. And stay with our 3-week ad period. And I don't think the schedule is adjusted that much. Do you see any change in the schedule, Mike, based on where we are? I think we're okay. We can get it out, get it back from you late tomorrow.
And just a quick question too, do you feel the 3 weeks is going to ample enough time to get us probably the best quality pool of candidates at that point in time?
That's been our history. We believe so.
Okay.
We believe there is, a little bit of buzz so far, and we believe 3 weeks will work.
People are making daily searches when they're really hard looking.
And we,
much.
and through searches with other cities, we talk to a lot of folks.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second. I want to open this up to public comment. I want to make sure we cover that base. Any members of the public wish to speak on this item? Last call. All right, we'll close public comment. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so motion passes unanimous. And any questions about the process moving forward that we need to ask?
I don't believe so. We got it in staff's hands now, and Jane's volunteered to help with the photos.
And we will get it published. And I would add, Mr. Chair, and I don't want to delay it, but if for any reason something changes or something comes up down the road, this is not the old system of having a fixed document out there that can't be changed. I mean, we can go into it, it's the system.
Online, you can change it
Go
online.
into next week, let's say we missed something or had a typo or something, next Friday, we can go in and make that adjustment. So
Okay.
it's live.
Good. Okay.
All right, any other comments?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we are adjourned.
Thank you all so much for the time.
Katie, don't go running away.